She was in a medium-sized room built from black stone. A pattern had been carved into the floor and ceilings, the same power that had summoned her still crackling along the lines. It was a rune of some kind, similar to the ones Elena had seen on Tsavitee, the home planet of the Tuon, her mother's people, and Aunt Kira's. She looked beyond the rune, toward the smooth walls that awaited her on the opposite side of the room. There were no doors, at least not from what she could see, only endless opaque black glass that reflected the wan and pinched-looking features that Auntie always said were a carbon copy of Elise's when she was her age. Sometimes Elena questioned the accuracy of that statement, wondering if maybe Aunt Kira saw what she wanted to in Elena's features. Personally, Elena thought she took after her dad more than her egg donor, but that could be her projecting. Unlike her aunts, Elena's ears were undocked. They were as pointy as any Tuon's. If you wanted to get picky about it, you could say the slant was a tiny bit less severe, considering her status as only half Tuon. But they'd fool pretty much anyone. Elena had always liked the vivid amber color of her eyes, the shade pairing well with the gold in her curly hair. Add in her pert nose, pointed chin, and Cupid's bow of her lips, and she looked insufferably adorable. It was why people had a tendency to underestimate her. They saw her exterior and never looked deeper, something she often used to her advantage to escape trouble. Aunt Celine, and Aunt Kira, to a lesser extent, were the only people immune to her charms. "This place feels weird," Elena muttered under her breath, registering a prickly sensation that was both similar yet completely different than any mea ave Elena had previously experienced. This felt sharper, more biting, dangerous almost, like there was something waiting to strike. One wrong move, and it'd be goodbye, Elena. Her psyche would be shredded to pieces. No, thank you. That didn't sound like fun to her. Not even a little bit. Gradually, Elena became conscious of a cold weight wrapped securely around her bicep. The memory of what happened directly before she was ripped from her aunt's side and sent to this place came back to her. "Uncle Jin!" Elena stuck a hand into the neck of her shirt, searching until her fingers brushed against the scaled surface of Uncle Jin's avatar. Relief, like she'd never felt before, swept through her as she stilled. Her immobility lasted only a second before she tugged her shirt's collar away from her body, needing the visual reassurance of his presence. "You came," Elena whispered in a clogged voice. She wasn't alone. He was in this with her. The ruby-colored eyes of the avatar were closed, giving the impression that its owner was sleeping. Created to resemble a luang, a creature that looked like a cross between an eastern dragon and its avian cousin, the avatar was impressively small and delicate-looking, its body slightly translucent. The blush color of its scales reminded Elena of morganite. It even had the whiskers and mane-like crest that the luang were known for. Elena didn't try to remove Uncle Jin from his hiding spot. If there were cameras in this room, it was best to leave him where he was, a secret only she knew. With that thought in mind, she released the shirt. Her gaze darted around the room as she pressed the neck against her chest for a moment before forcing herself to drop her hand nonchalantly. Mustn't tip off anybody watching. If Uncle Jin was unconscious and not faking it for reasons only her silly uncle would understand, it was important she protect him, at least until he was himself again. "Play it cool," Elena advised herself in her head. "Nothing to see here, just Super Agent Elena reporting for duty."